archlinux, a lightweight do-it-yourself Linux distribution. Agenda: Linux distribution model. Arch Linux history. Why Arch Linux? Installation lifecycle. Getting started. Basic workflow. Pacman and the OR. Linux distributions. A Linux distribution bundles the kernel, system tools, and a package manager into one installable, usable operating system. If a distribution makes too many decisions for you, it can be hard to understand exactly what's running on your own machine. Almost every Linux user eventually picks a distribution based on how much control versus convenience they want. He or she wants. Any user who wants to deeply understand his or her own system benefits from a distribution that doesn't hide its internals. Installing a distro that quietly does 100 things for you doesn't teach you how any of them actually work. Rolling release and point release. A point release distribution shifts fixed version releases, with major upgrades happening in occasional, sometimes disruptive jumps. Arch Linux instead uses a rolling release model, continuously updating packages with no separate next version to upgrade to. Point releases: Ubuntu LTS, Debian, Fedora. Rolling release: Arch Linux, OpenSUSE, Tumbleweed, always current. Problems with point release distributions. Single point of friction. Major version upgrades can be large, risky events. Instead of a routine update, software can lag months or years behind its latest upstream release. Between distro versions, end of life dates force a disruptive migration onto a new release, whether you are ready or not ready. Backporting security fixes to old package versions adds real maintenance overhead for the distro. Testing new features often means waiting for the next major release cycle. Misses out on the simplicity of a system that's always just up to date rather than up to date for its version. The Arch Linux system packages are declared and installed with Pacman, Arch's simple, fast binary package manager. The Arch user repository or lets the community share build scripts called pkg builds for software build not in the official repositories. The system starts minimal by design. Every additional program is something the user explicitly chose to install. Other distributions with a similar do-it-yourself philosophy: Gentoo, Wild Linux, Slackware. Arch Linux advantages: rolling releases mean software stays close to its latest upstream version continuously. A minimal base install means you understand exactly what's running on your system. Pacman is fast and simple, with a small, well-documented set of commands. The R gives access to an enormous range of community packaged software. The Arch Wiki is widely regarded as one of the best Linux documentation resources used even by non-Arch users. Encourages a hands-on understanding of how Linux actually works under the hood. Everything is minimal, almost. One huge benefit is that in Arch Linux, almost nothing is installed unless you explicitly asked for it. The base installation ships without a desktop environment, default applications, or unnecessary background services. Every package added to the system is a deliberate choice, not a default someone else made for you. This minimalism keeps the system lean, fast, and easy to reason about, even as it grows over time. The keep it short and simple philosophy keeps it simple, guides nearly every design decision across the distribution. Pacman and the R. Pacman. R's official binary package manager. R. Community maintained build scripts for packages outside the official repos. Common Pacman commands. Pacman handles installing, updating, and removing packages with a small set of flags. A simple PKGBYLD. A PKGBYLD describes how to fetch, build, and package software from source. History created by Judd Winnett and first released in March 2002, inspired by the simplicity of Slackware and Crux. Judd Winnett led the project until 2007 when Aaron Griffin took over as lead developer. The Arc user repository grew steadily through the 2000s into one of the largest community package collections for any distribution. The Arc install script, introduced later, added an optional guided installer without abandoning Arc's manual installation option, now maintained by a global volunteer community, with governance handled through the archlinux nonprofit organization. Why archlinux? Up to date. Rolling releases keep software close to its latest upstream version. Minimal. You control exactly what's installed with nothing extra by default. Educational. Installing and maintaining Arch teaches you how Linux really works. Documented. The Arch Wiki is one of the best regarded references in the Linux world. Flexible. The R and Pacman make almost any software just few commands away. Community driven. Developed and maintained transparently by volunteers worldwide. The Arch Wiki The ArchWiki documents everything from installation to deep system internals, and it's famously thorough. Pages are kept current by an active community, reflecting the rolling nature of the distribution itself. Frequently used as a reference even by users running entirely different Linux distributions. Never blindly copy a wiki command without understanding it. Arc's philosophy expects you to know what your system is doing. Arc installation lifecycle: prepare disks, partition, install base system, backstrap, enter new system, chroot, set up bootloader, configure. Disks are partitioned. The base system is installed with backstrap. The installer chroots into the new system and the bootloader and users are configured. Getting started with Arch Linux. This leads us to the three steps that get a base system installed. Boot the ISO, boot the Arch installation media on real or virtual hardware. Partition and backstrap. Partition disks and install the base system packages. Configure and reboot. Set up the bootloader, users, and network. Then reboot. Basic workflow. ISO. Experiment. Optimize. Practice. Updating, installing, and maintaining. Some call update, install, and maintain Arc's everyday loop. Pacman. That is why you should be run regularly since rolling releases assume the system stays close to the current. The Arc Wiki is the first stop for troubleshooting almost any issue you will encounter. Our helpers like Yai wrap Pacman and the R into one convenient command line tool. Reading the Arc news page before major updates catches rare manual intervention steps early. Supports many workflows, daily driver desktops, servers, minimal containers, embedded systems. Works the same whether you are on bare metal, a VM, or the Windows subsystem for Linux. Any questions? Thank you.